would you say that we're putting the spotlight technically on the show?
Well, I think we always put a spotlight on the show, don't we? A big one with a symbol in the middle, like the bat symbol, except it's a big ginger man.
I was going to say it's like the forest type thing, not the ginger man. I think that'd be more scary.
A big ginger man coming to get you. That'll get you in the mood for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Halloween's coming up as well. Are we excited for it?
I'm always excited for Halloween. I love it. You know, I'm a huge like horror movie freak and weirdo. So like, yeah, I love Halloween. It's a great special time of the year.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for it. So yeah, today we're talking about Superstar Spotlight. What this basically is we pay like respect to like wrestlers from all walks of life, from indies to UK. We're pretty much covering all bases, to be fair.
Yeah, it's kind of like, at least for me, I'm not sure about the other list, but for me, it's like I just kind of plucked people that I thought I had something interesting to share about them that I think is unique and a good conversation piece for each of these guys.
And of course, myself and one of our guests will be coming on. We've like gone a little different route. We've gone like obviously people like the indie type scene, so we're basically covering all bases. But enough rambling on. Roll the intro. I'm sorry, but as that was playing, Caleb's got like a disco light thing playing in the background.
Heck yeah, man. He was jamming. I appreciate that. I love that. I love the enthusiasm from the young fella.
Anyway, welcome to the Magic of Wrestling podcast, episode 199. I'm, of course, Liam Wakelin.
And I'm the American half of the equation, the F and expert, Mr. Isaacs. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are on this fine planet. Hey.
Of course, now, Mr. Isaacs, as the few weeks been, obviously, I know you're dealing with a lot of stuff at the moment.
Yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of family issues. I have my kids. Their mother had an accident, but she's healing up and she's doing all right. But I've had them again this weekend as well as last weekend, so you might hear my daughter running around in the background. It's just kind of part of the magic of wrestling at this point. But it's been a good week, man. I've been trying to make sure I do at least 3 hours of jiu-jitsu every week, and I accomplished that again this week, and just chugging hard and trying to stay alive, my man.
How about you? Everything, yeah, not too bad, mate. Like I say, usual stuff work-wise, obviously interviews and stuff like that, but everything going off, are we good, though? That's the key thing. You all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm all good, man. I might be a little tired, but I'm good.
Of course. Now, this is kind of a damper on things, but it's not at the same time, because today should have been 200 episodes, but rescheduling type thing. So this made it 199 episodes.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. Things don't happen perfectly, and they fall out of place for a reason. So I think that means something spectacular is going to happen.
Of course. But anyway, let's bring some guests on. First off, I'm going to bring Caleb straight on because I want to know about this disco type thing. Caleb, what the hell happened with that disco thing?
I don't know. I was really happy.
Yeah, you were like really, really getting down to the introduction. I thought that was really cool. Can you kind of like mimic that and do that again for us? There we go. The man's rocking out. I want to know what's in that Diet Coke, brother.
Well, sort of. I needed to be awake.
He needed to be awake. And, of course, this guy's becoming a bit of regular on the show. He's obviously part of the main event today. Hey,
Alice Haney!
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Haley.
How is everyone doing?
Yeah, not so bad, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome, brother. Good to hear. The Society of the Forgotten, are they doing well?
Yeah, I don't know. I've forgotten who's part of the society, so we're wandering about trying to find each other.
They are literally the Society of the Forgotten. They're forgotten by the damn founder.
Yes, exactly.
That's
One of them
that,
come up to me and was it the other day and says, "Do I know you?" And I says, "I don't think so."
that is quite apropos, Mr.
Yeah.
Haney.
Definitely.
I think Caleb's having a sugar rush.
Yes.
Brother, he's drinking Diet Coke. Okay,
Yeah.
there's no
It's that-
sugar in that.
Two bottles. Two bottles.
It's
That's
that
just
power.
caffeine.
Yeah, it's that Power Ranger soda when he gets the power of Zord through it. He's like, "Arr!"
It's Ripper time. Dinosaur.
He's drinking dinosaur fluid. Is that what you're saying, Haney?
Pretty much, yes.
In other words, the piss of a dinosaur. That's what he's drinking.
It's morphin time.
It's Zord piss.
Now, the question is, though, which is the best Power Rangers? Go.
Oh, jeez. I got a lot of Power Rangers in my mind.
Well, it had to be like the green / white one, right? Because he always had like his own special Zord that was like just as powerful as the combined one.
Do you know what's really cool just now in the UK because they're sort of like we get links as what was it obviously like from the Disney stuff and things like that. But inside Primark, which is a big like clothes shop over here, they've got Power Ranger onesies right now, and apparently they're what was they're flying off the shelves.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I'm going to check these out.
yeah.
Oh dear. So Caleb, what about what wrestling are we watching this week?
I watched a lot of wrestling. Leah, the best wrestling on the planet Earth.
On planet Earth. What about the best
Yes.
wrestling on Venus and Mars?
Too old.
No? Okay.
I got my wrestler of the week today.
Let's hear it.
Let's go.
Almighty Bobby. No. The MVP.
Okay. MVP. I don't think he wrestles a whole lot these days, but tell me why MVP, Montel Vontavious Porter, is your favorite wrestler of the week.
Because he is full-time elite. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I watched that actual segment, and I think it was disappointing the fact he didn't get some sort of music. So the crowd reaction was kind of, not too the thing. I don't know what to think. Mr. Isaac?
But was it? Sorry, you go, Mr. Isaac.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they're saving the music for when Lashley actually shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I think it's pretty clear at this point we're going to see Bobby Lashley and hopefully Shelton Benjamin as well. Because if you look at the zoomed-in image of the card he handed Prince Nana, it said Hurt Syndicate. So,
It's her business.
yeah, it's Hurt Business under a new name.
But I mean, it's not just Hurt Business. This is like the fourth incarnation of this because this team were in Ring of Honor and then they were in TNA and now they're in the WWE. Now they're in a thing. It's for me, it's getting a bit old. You know, I mean, what was it? I mean, obviously. He went through the traditional EW initiation before it because his voice was quite groggy, so obviously had a mouthful before he came out.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? And he was out there trying to recruit Susie from the Rugrats, you know, from Prince Nana. You saw what was it? What was it? So who knows what's going to happen in the coming weeks? You know.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I'm gonna have to disagree with that thing. I mean, it's one thing because you don't see it a lot that like factions go from promotion to promotion, and still kind of work. So I kind of have to disagree with you, Haney, a little bit. I mean, Mr. Isaac, what do you think?
I think it's going to be over huge if it happens in AEW because I think that they kind of dropped the ball on them in WWE. They let them kind of fizzle out and didn't put them back together. And I think it's going to be a pretty hot faction when they come back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure all 10 fans will love it, but what was it? What was it? Yeah, no, I was never a fan of it. That whole faction was a bore, you know. And it was through the pandemic.
Hey, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What the hell's happening with Caleb?
Caleb is like scissoring himself or something.
Morphin' time.
One final thing.
Yeah. What was it? It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. But yeah. How many projects have VW started and not finished? It's like what was it? You know, what was it? It's strange.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we'll have one final thing before we let Caleb get on his way. Hey, Nate, I'm going to hand this over to you because I know you're asking this every week.
So, Caleb,
Yes, Mr. Sassy Boys.
how is the training going?
The Fairies are in the playoffs for baseball season. And I'm really happy about them. I'm doing awesome, Alex. I doing awesome down at home. I got a page on Facebook on David Everybody Updated. And I'm really excited what's in store for Monday Night Raw this coming on Monday night.
No, definitely. And I've got one more question for you.
Okay.
Taylor Swift or Slayer?
How the hell does them two go together?
I think I'm on the more side, but I think Rhea Ripley we did the hands on the championship down at Bedford.
Yeah, but was it? Definitely that was a joke to our Darby Allin comment. But was it? Yeah,
You know, Slayer. On topic here of Slayer, they were supposed to do a reunion show last night here in Louisville, Kentucky, but they got rained out because of the hurricane rains.
No.
So
yeah.
the one-time reunion get together at the festival Louder Than Life got canceled. So.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? What's all that America all about? You know, I mean, Scotland's got rain all the time. A wee bit of rain, and you start to wuss out, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, we've got some pretty powerful hurricanes here. I don't know. Do you all experience that over there very much?
No, we're very fortunate, unfortunately.
No, we're very fortunate. You know. What was it? It's interesting. The UK is very interesting because we complain about the weather, but what was it? We're in a fortunate situation where. What was it? We're not in any sort of like major earthquake thing. We don't get like major tornadoes or hurricanes or
that's what I was thinking.
Storms. So it's a bit meh.
Bit meh.
Well, the way it works here is that hurricanes always come up from the Gulf of Mexico into like Florida and Georgia and Alabama, and then it usually. You know, obviously it's diminished and it's not a hurricane by the time it hits Kentucky, but we usually get some pretty fierce rain and winds from remnants of hurricanes from down south. So that's what we had yesterday. Yeah. It was pretty rough. Like I thought I was going to lose power a couple times. It flickered, but it never actually went out.
Yeah, it must be quite scary. I mean, what was it? We were in myself and Fiona. We were in Florida in May, and what was it? The sort of the weather was obviously a lot higher than it normally is, and they were actually talking about it. I remember watching the news, and they were saying that there was real concerns about this year because the last time that sort of cycle of weather happened, Katrina happened. You know, it's weird because it has been quite an active sort of season for you guys, hasn't it? So. It's pretty scary. Just hope everybody's okay. I mean, I was joking at the start about the little bit of rain. I know it's not nice.
No, it is pretty bad. I've seen obviously a lot of the things online. So yeah.
Well, I know in Florida, I don't know if it's still the case, but in Florida there were 2 million people without power.
Yeah.
So hopefully, hopefully at least part of those are back by this point. But yeah, it's pretty serious business when a hurricane hits, especially in the southern part of the U.S.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions before I leave?
Anything for Caleb?
Yeah. So Caleb, what was it? You mentioned MVP. Who do you think's going to be in that group?
I think be Bobby Lashley because I know him since the COVID. They're gonna stop the Revolution with Muscle Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Because Muscle Ali is in TNA, and I think Bobby Lashley go to AEW because of WWE where they are together or something like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Isaac, do you have any questions for me?
No, I think that's it, my man.
We're all good, Caleb. Caleb, as always, mate, thank you so much for enlightening us with your presence. We will see you, of course, next week.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, and just keep flying.
See you, my man.
Cheers, pal. I'm sure he was high on fucking sugar.
They don't have sugar, bro. He's high on sucralose and caffeine.
And dinosaur oil.
Okay,
Sorry, robotic dinosaur oil.
that's fine. That's fine.
Zord piss, I think is what we called it, right?
Is that not
He-
Mountain
he's-
Dew?
A little intoxicated on Zord piss, which, yeah, basically is like off-label Mountain Dew.
Let's get into main event. Here we go.
The main event.
There's my foot coin.
You got your one fuck to give. Good job, buddy.
Of course. So before we get into our main event, we're just going to say a little thing to obviously a little foundation with sporting. Here's the video.
You said I couldn't, but I'm standing tall. You doubted every move, but now I got it all. Rise up.
I think we should actually release that song as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. And have you explained to the viewers how you got that song?
I'll just say AI and leave it at that.
Yeah.
That is actually AI,
Artificial
by the way.
intelligence. AI makes some damn good music.
It does.
Like- Have you seen? Now, I don't know how much time you guys spend on TikTok, but have you seen these AI channels where they like? There's one called "I Ruined It For You," and it's like
Yes.
they take a song, but then they take a completely different singer and style and have them perform a cover of the song. So it'll be like Dolly Parton doing Snoop Dogg or something like that.
Have you heard Kermit the Frog doing Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice?
I'm sure I probably have at some point.
It is absolutely best. It's based on why is there so many why is there so many rainbows song, and it's just I got my money on that.
Dear. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, you know what? I've got the song. I think we'll release that song at some point. So, yeah, it's a great song. And like I said, it's artificial intelligence. All I
Yeah.
said to it is write me a rock song about, I think it was proving people wrong and stuff like that, do you know, which is kind of
Yeah.
what we link with, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a great song. I'll probably release it at some point. So, today we do.
Yeah, but I've got a couple of funny ones I'll send you later that I've created.
Okay. I can't
You
wait
used to make
hear
some pretty good Tony Khan AI. Like
Yeah,
those were pretty funny back in the day.
yeah, but was it all the snowflakes got a bit thingy about that though? It's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
You can't make fun of Lord and Savior Khan.
You
right?
can't, you can't make what if one of Saint can, God forbid, No.
Awesome. So today we're doing something called Superstar Spotlight. So what this is basically is about is we're going to be talking about, because we always wanted to talk about a certain wrestler, but I thought, you know what? Let's up the ante a little bit. Pick a selection of wrestlers from the indies all the way to the big leagues from 3 different countries. And the reason, like I said, Henry's from Scotland, I'm from the UK, Mr. Wright's from America. And yeah, we're just going to basically show some love to some wrestlers. So who should we pick first, Mr. Isaacs?
It's up to you, my man.
Do you know what, Amy? Screw it.
Do you want to flip your fuck coin to figure it out, or what?
Yeah.
Does it get 3 sides?
Amy, you're up first. Who are you picking to talk about?
So what was it? I'm going to mention one that you probably don't necessarily know about, but he's well worth checking out because he's a bit of a character, and obviously he's well loved in the Scottish scene, and he's actually believe it or not, he's actually been in a few TV shows now as well, and his name's called his ring name's called Jack Jester. Okay. And basically, what was it? As you can see from his sort of style, what was it his look? You can tell he's a sort of hardcore, sort of extreme rules specialist, So, what was it? He's very prevalent in ICW. Although I have seen him in BCW, my local, what was it, promotion, and a bit more fun sort of character. I mean. The kids are absolutely petrified of him, and he plays up on that, like your typical sort of like heel bad guy chasing the kids around the arena, and it's actually quite funny to see, So But he's actually a close friend of Drew McIntyre as well, and they had a sort of tag team in ICW. They've also had like major feuds. What was it? With him, you know, he's been ICW heavyweight champion. He's won the tag team. What was it? ICW championship with, what was it? Sha Samuels. You know, what was it called? Did a big program. What was it? With the likes of Mickey Whiplash and Drew, obviously. What was it? And he's got some. You sort of mention a wrestler we don't really talk about now, but he's got some really extreme matches with what was it, Jimmy Havoc as well. So what was it? Fantastic wrestler, and what was it? Great personality as well, and he's really great with the fans, you know. So
yeah. So Mr. Isaacs, looking at this guy right here, what type of vibe do you get just looking at him?
Yeah, I get kind of like a hardcore kind of vibe. I could see him doing like some maybe some GCW kind of work or something like that. I like the is it got like a white contact lens or something in one eye?
Yeah.
Kind of gives him a menacing look too. Like I can dig that.
Yeah.
The other vibe I get as well is like a dark, sinister type thing, Undertaker, like Darkness Ministry type vibes. Is that probably fair?
Yeah, he has got that sort of dark, sort of gothic vibe to him, you know. And I mean, some of his feuds have been really dark. I would recommend checking them out. You know, he's transitioning more into sort of acting just now. He's been around since 2002, so he's been around a while, you know. And what was it? There's some other stuff there that he's been involved in out with the wrestling. He's had a couple of. He was part of the ICW. What was it? Documentary the BBC done a few years back, the Insane Fight Club. What was it? And it follows him, and he's quite a weird guy as well, and his personal life, because he's into any of that. What was it? BDSM stuff and all that nonsense, you know. So obviously, what was it? That sort of plays into his character a wee bit sometimes, you know. So, but absolutely hilarious as well with Drew and Sha Samuels and things like that when they were having fun with it. Great. What was it? Great wrestler. And he's obviously but it had a huge influence on the Scottish scene, you know. Obviously he's training people in that now as well, and but was especially around the sort of ICW sort of environment.
Yeah, absolutely. So go check him out, Jack Jester. Mr. Isaacs, and obviously I know you've also got the big guys and stuff like that, but that's the point of this. We just never know what's going to be on the list. So what are you going to put on to speak about next?
I think I'm going to speak about the greatest person on this list, and that is Bryan Danielson.
Oh,
I had to put him on here. I had to put him on here because he is the quintessential technical wrestler, probably the second best technical wrestler of all time, just under Bret, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy has been the dominant indie wrestler. He's the greatest wrestler of all time in Ring of Honor by far. And he's even continuing his legacy now through the modern years of Daniel Bryan and WWE, headlining Mania twice, and now the current AEW World Champion. I mean, this guy sells like crazy. Like you need to teach a seminar on how to sell from Bryan Danielson. The way he sells having a seizure and having broken and like suffocate. He sold suffocation, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he did well to sell the punches on Wednesday with McGuinness. You know, they were Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, the thing is with Bryan Danielson as well, and he's obviously greatly technical. Do you know what I mean? And that's my type of style. I mean, one of my favorite matches, and I always remember it was Mr. Isaacs' one match I wanted to see, which him and Zack Sabre Jr., which is an incredible match.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's had some technical clinics with a bunch of guys. He brings out the best in anybody he's in the ring with. I mean, you could stick him in the ring with a very mediocre worker, and he's going to put on at least a good match.
Yeah. Anything to add, Annie?
Yeah, I mean, they put him in the ring with Swerve, so there's your answer there. That's your answer to that one, you know. So, but was it? No, I mean, you can't argue with these sort of. His accolades. He's a great wrestler. He's actually a great heel when he gets to play that sort of wrestler heel, you know.
Oh,
He's not the best promo guy, you know. But he's very. With that heel character, the sort of psychological manipulation he does, you know. We've not seen that in AEW or WWE. You need to go back what was it, to sort of Ring of Honor to sort of see the real nasty Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, whatever he's called nowadays. You know,
I think he would be a really good like Bob Backlund style heel
I'm
for the
gonna,
modern era.
yeah,
Would you
I'm gonna
agree with
st-
that, Haney? Like a
Yeah,
technician who like kind of belittles everybody's intelligence and you're not on his level and that kind of deal.
yeah, yeah, and most definitely, you know,
He
not
used
as
to like
crazy though.
tell people that you have to name him all the US presidents or else he wouldn't
Yeah.
sign your autograph, stories like that.
Yeah. And what would he? I don't know if he's still vegan though. Would they use the chicken wing?
I don't know. I know he was a vegan, then he kind of quit being a vegan because he said he was having trouble maintaining his protein levels, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if he's a vegan currently or not. I don't think so.
Maybe we can do the broccoli lock or the sort of asparagus.
The what?
The broccoli lock.
Or the asparagus hold.
Well, he went from yes to no to yes to no, so you never know.
Yeah.
Cattle mutilation.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what do you guys think to the match he's had with McGuinness? I'll start with you, Mr. Isaacs.
Yeah, I thought the match was all right. I didn't think it was one of Danielson's better matches. I mean, obviously McGuinness hasn't wrestled really for over a decade. Since he was Desmond Wolfe in TNA, I think was the last time he'd wrestled prior to AEW. It was just okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was a decent match. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah, I mean, what was everybody like? It's weird, like when you go online, and you see people going on about how, that was everything I was waiting for. Is it like, no, go back and watch the matches they had in Ring of Honor. That was not in comparison. I think on Wednesday night everybody sniffs the Yahoo glue sometimes because some of the comments they come up with is just unbelievable. You know, I mean, everybody knows the wrestling in the WWE isn't the best. You know, but. What was it? This sort of like need to go out and tell every match is the greatest match of all time since and every event's the greatest match since like last Wednesday.
It's the old Shivani adage. This is the greatest night in the history of professional wrestling. Every single week.
It's like the whole Meltzer thing as well. I mean, he obviously Kenny's turned him down. He's moved on to Will Ospreay. Because or maybe he doesn't maybe he's been discriminated because he's got diverticulitis and he doesn't want to go out with someone with diverticulitis. So he's picked a sort of he sort of picked a sort of like flippity guy. But I mean, Will Ospreay's got more 5-star matches in the whole of WCW, TNA, Ring of Honor. That was it. WWE. Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks. George Kidd,
Giant Haystacks. Now, why wasn't John Haystacks on the UK list? Is he coming up?
No.
No. The spotlight was too low for him to be seen.
Right. Let's head to the UK, shall we? And I'm going to choose a female, and I'm going to choose Nina Samuels. Now, Nina Samuels is one, I think last time I checked, it could be different now. 9 women's championships for 9 different promotions in the UK. And I was speaking to Riot Cabaret, and they said that it takes a lot for one company to like trust you with a title. But Haney, when it comes 9, I mean, you can't overlook it, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, definitely. And she was a sort of regular and sort of, I mean, we've got Progress Wrestling here, and what was it? She was part of the NXT UK as well, So, what was it called? She was like amazing sort of talent, So, what was it? And her arrogance as well as her character is just fantastic,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't mean arrogance in a bad way. I like sort of. I mean that in the sense of what she is as a sort of character and how she sort of portrays it.
Yep. Mr. Isaacs, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Nina Samuels.
I'm not. But she definitely has a good look. And the UK indie scene kills it, man. I mean, like it seems like it's so vibrant over there for men and women both. So that's refreshing to see. Did you say she used to be in NXT UK?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So I mean, who knows? We might see her on a big stage again, right?
Absolutely.
I think hopefully, definitely, that would be like awesome because she's fully deserves that, you know. But yeah, wrestling's a funny game. But what I would say about the UK scene is the girls are absolutely destroying the men at the moment in terms of talent. You know,
Absolutely.
they're just a class above everybody else. You know,
Absolutely. And the one final thing for Nina as well is I did a little bit of research, and after a lot of the women from the UK scene, she had the best win-loss record according to Cage Match last year.
Nice.
yeah, that's a
Very
good start.
respectable.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, go check Nina out. She's incredible talent and stuff like that. And like I said, it was 9 titles. It's probably changed since then because such a great talent. And like I said, she works so good as a heel. I don't think I've ever seen her as like a good guy.
Some
Have you
people
ever
are
seen
just
her as a
made
good
to
guy?
be a heel.
No,
Yeah.
but was it? But was it? I mean, definitely not. I don't think I've ever seen her. But was it? What was it? What was it? What was it? As a sort of good guy, she probably thinks the wrestling ring's another mirror to look at. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh dear. Right then, Haney, we're back to you, my man.
Yeah. What was it? Who do I want to go with next? Let's see who I've got on my list. Okay, so what was it? One name that is, I think, has got an absolute enormous potential in the what was it, the sort of the UK scene in general. Not just obviously we're talking about Scotland, but what was it? This person is like literally all over it. What was it? And she's had some amazing matches. And it's a wrestler called Angel Hayes. What was it? I think it was not long ago she debuted, was it? It's only a couple of years. I think it was like 2009 or something. I might be wrong.
She's not been wrestling long.
2019, you know. So she's like made an absolute name for herself in places like ICW. She's been in Rev Pro, you know. What was it? She's been in the like Discovery Wrestling over in Edinburgh. What was it called? What was it? She's already like challenged for sort of like some major titles as well, you know. She's really a sort of, for me, one of the breakout stars of the UK. What was it called? She did that like an absolute amazing sort of feud with like Molly Spartan and ICW. What was it? You know, I mean, obviously looking at her, you might think, okay, a bit of an underdog, you know. So what was it? And obviously the other one, they absolutely kill it. I was going to put her, the other person I'm going to mention, I was going to put in the list, but she was actually. What was it? Born in Ireland. She's like feuded with like what was it? Casey all over the UK.
Yeah,
I mean,
I said there you're not putting Casey on your list, and then we actually searched it. And it turns out she's Irish.
yeah, yeah. What was it called? What was it? But yeah. What was it? Absolutely, like the two of them. Every time they wrestle, just absolutely kill it. You know, I was lucky to see them in BCW. What was it, a couple of months back, and it was just they just stole the absolute show. As and what was it? Just an honourable sort of mention to Casey. That woman needs to be seen in a major promotion because her whole look, her entrance, and everything is just it's on point. You know,
I've actually been there. I've actually been there when Casey's entrance is actually happening, and it's so good. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But Mr. Isaacs, I mean, we see this all the time. Do you know, like up and coming stuff like that? Do you know what I mean? I mean, what do you get when you see this?
She looks like a young Britt Baker. It's kind of what she looks like to me. I mean, she's got a fantastic look. And you know, great smile, great eyes. I can see her. She has like that star look about her. I don't know how old she is, but like I could see someone like her being a star if she's good in the ring, which you guys say she is. So
yeah, and she's such a nice person as well. You sort of see it at the events. I mean, the kids absolutely love her, and that's what it's all about. That's how you sort of build that. I mean, obviously she's got that sort of like bubblegum sort of baby face look, you know. So
yeah.
what was it called? Like Bailey and that had, and definitely at the wrestling events that are not the sort of ICW ones and things like that, you sort of see that. She'll spend time with the kids and that, you know. I absolutely love to see that, you know. You know, because that's what it's all about.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, does she have kind of like a Bailey kind of appeal?
Yeah, but definitely all our sort of outfits and sort of stuff and our merch is all very colourful and what was it? What was it like? What was it? What was it? Nightsticks? You know, like the glow sticks and the nightsticks would be a bit dangerous for kids actually. Although I had one. Although I had one as a Boss Man fan as a kid, but still did some damage with that, by the way. But yeah, what was it? Yeah, definitely. You know, what was it? A character. I've not really seen her doing any sort of heel work yet. Obviously, she's young, so if she's as good as a what was it, a baby face, I'm sure she'll kill it if she ever went heel as well. You know, because sometimes that's what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious to see how she goes heel as well. Obviously, I've seen her work and stuff like that. She's incredible talent. So yeah, go check out Angel Hayes. Mr. Isaacs, we're back to you for the big guys.
All right. So I wanted to talk about somebody who I don't think gets a whole lot of love, at least not enough. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time in the ring, and had arguably the best WWE match and best NWA match of the 1980s. And that is the quintessential babyface, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now, when I say that I think he had the best NWA match and WWF match in the 80s, his match against Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3,
What a match.
and his match against Ric Flair at Chi-Town Rumble. If you go and watch those two matches,
Yep.
you're gonna be hard pressed to find two better professional wrestling matches of the 1980s.
Yeah.
And I just think that this guy doesn't get talked about enough. You know, people talk about the obvious ones like Brett and Shawn and, you know, all of them, but I don't see a lot of people show love to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And I want to change that. I want more people to show some love for Ricky Steamboat. What do you guys think of the Dragon?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm so glad you said the match with Savage because that is probably one of my favorites as well. Do you know what I mean? Matches like that. And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, thinking about it now, he doesn't get that love everyone talks about, as you mentioned there, Brett, everyone else. And it's like, he was another great worker. I mean, I even loved his entrances, by the way, and stuff like that. But wow, yeah, do you know, you kind of stunned me a little bit there because I'm like, yeah, you're actually on point that he doesn't get the love.
And I would even argue, too, he had one of the best WCW matches of all time with stunning Steve Austin for the television title in the 90s.
Yeah, imagine making that guy look good. Unbelievable.
What do you think about Steamboat, Haney? You like Ricky Steamboat?
Yeah, no, definitely. Again, it comes down to that whole sort of thing about what wrestling is. Do you want the technical, what was it, matches, you know, or what was it, or do you want the big flamboyant sort of like shows that like WWE try to put on, but the technicality is not the greatest, you know, and
Yeah.
and he's just one of these guys that if you were ever going to learn wrestling, that was Savage and Steamboat. Was it Steamboat and Flair and Steamboat and Sting are probably the three tapes you would put down in front of people and say, study this. You know, that's what pro wrestling is.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
What was it? A lot of guys at that time didn't get because of the juggernaut of what was it, Hulk Hogan. You know, people forget. Everybody's. I mean, whether you love him or hate him, but the thing about Hulk Hogan is he wasn't just a wrestling phenomenon. He was a pop culture phenomenon. He was in everything, you know, and that's what people don't get when they try to say, like, what was it, like The Rock was bigger than Hogan, or what was it, or Cena was bigger than Hogan, or Stone Cold was bigger than Hogan. None of them have yet hit that level. You know, if you go back and look at all the marketing and all the stuff that was done in the 80s, the money that was involved with that one guy who's insane, you know. But and that sort of caused a lot of these guys to sort of be in the WWF and then jump about and go elsewhere because they felt like they were limited, you know, and they couldn't get any further up the sort of chain, you know. So what was it? Savage sort of made it, and then obviously we had the whole thing with Hogan where he had that whole year with the Mega Powers. It was basically just another power grab by Hogan to get the belt back, you know. What was it? And to stay relevant. And he did the same with Warrior. And well, what was it? Nobody liked the Warrior backstage anyway as a wrestler, but he sort of killed a lot of momentum for a lot of wrestlers by being savvy and clever about what he did, you know. So
it didn't work for him, brother.
No, it didn't work for him, brother. You know. So,
did he have a tan?
But yeah, I mean, you could talk all night. You could talk all night about Steamboat. He's just an absolute phenomenon, you know. But was it probably one of the greatest of all time?
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm so glad he's on the list. Like I said, he doesn't get the love, and that's the whole point and the premise of this actual show. So, Mr. Isaacs, I commend you for bringing Ricky Steamboat to the table.
The Dragon, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, like you said, you could do a whole episode on that. That's the point, actually. We ain't going to do highs and lows for a while.
I think that would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be open to that.
Ricky Steamboat, just saying.
Yeah.
I think the only low about Steamboats would be when his wife got all his trademarks and his ex-wife got all his trademarks and they couldn't use it.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a whole lot of lows for Ricky Steamboat, I don't think. Like, I would have trouble identifying some career lows for Ricky Steamboat. I don't know. I'd have to dig into his history. We could probably find something.
Yeah, absolutely. Right then, are we heading over to the UK?
Let's go to the UK, my friend.
Here we go. So next
Team
up, then,
Crumpets.
now this guy is young again. Is literally worked his ass off throughout the entire UK and stuff like that. He even went on TNA and did the TNA gut check. Remember that? Of course,
Yep.
I'm talking about a
Yeah.
guy who I know as Leon Slater. Now, this guy, it was weird that I went to like many different shows, like for different promotions, and he'd end up on that show. This guy is young, he's absolutely grafted, to get where he is, and in the ring is absolutely incredible. I mean, Haney, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, I know who he is. You know, he's that new. He hasn't even started shaving yet.
Okay.
Has he started shaving yet? Is that what he asked?
But was it? No, he's an absolute phenomenon. I think he's signed to EW now, isn't he? So
No, TNA.
TNA. I knew it was one of them. But yeah, I've seen his sort of stuff through Rev Pro and things like that in Progress. So absolute phenomenal wrestler. And I think there's a lot of expectation on him for the future. You know.
He's great. He's great. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mr. Isaacs.
I'm not. You said he was on TNA's gut check. You're talking about the old gut check they did like 10 years ago?
No, so when they came to the UK last, they did like a TNA gut check, and Leon Slater actually won it. And I think Kemper, who's obviously up and coming as well, I could have put him on the list as well, actually, came second, and he obviously got the contract and stuff like that. So if you actually head to the TNA website, he's actually on that.
The only person I remember from the TNA like UK invasion thing where they brought in people was that guy Mandrew. I remembered him.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, to be honest with you?
I do. I remember him.
Is that the same show that Grado was on where he turned up late and Al Snow went nuts?
Grado was on that too. Yeah.
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 I think Nikki Cross was and Piper Niven was as well.
Probably were.
What
Yeah.
a mess that was by TNA. Two of the great, what was it, Scottish women there, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tiffany says Mandrew rules too.
Got a Mandrew fan in the house. All right.
Anybody else?
No, that's all I got.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt and stuff like that. Right then, Haney, we're back to you, my man.
Me again? Jeez,
Yes,
that
you.
was quick. I was eating my popcorn celebrating Ricky Steamboat.
It actually sounds like eating popcorn.
I'm eating popcorn. I'm not lying.
Now, did you pop it in the bag with a flame that you shot out of your mouth?
Yes.
Okay, you got to do that if you're going to eat popcorn. In honor of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, you have to pop the popcorn with the fire that you blow out of your mouth into a bag.
Definitely. Never do that with haggis though, because it explodes.
Okay.
And never eat the front right leg of a haggis because it's hallucinogenic. So what was it? What they usually do is you need to dispose of it in a sort of biohazard bag, but the rest of the legs are fine to eat.
Tiffany says, Liam, me, you should make Isaac's watch some indies, damn it. Hey, he's a busy guy. Do you know what I mean?
I'm a busy guy, sweetheart. I barely have time to watch Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite. I try, but even that's hard sometimes.
So
Basically, we're saying he's got too much time.
Yep.
Right.
So what was it? I'm going to talk about another sort of what was it? A big I mean, ECW is probably the big company in Scotland, as you know. So I think most of these wrestlers are going to be from ECW. To be fair, you know, but he's also a champion in what was it? My local promotion. He's a tag team champion at the moment, and that is a guy called what was it? Davey Blaze. What was it? And he was originally part of a tag team. What was it? In ECW called the Bucky Boys. So what was it?
What name is that?
Well, you can imagine what they drank to the ring. So Liam will know. Liam will know this, you know. So what was it? A bottle of a bottle of the finest tonic wine was consumed before they got to the ring. So yeah, so him and what was it? I think the other guy was, I think, Stevie Xavier. What was it? So they were a big part of ICW. What was it? I think it was about 2009, 2010. He debuted. What was it? But yeah, the Bucky Boys were a big part of ICW, and they were quite a like fan favorite team, you know. But when they sort of split up, what was it? They had a sort of big feud in ICW. He had a sort of what was it? A big feud with a wrestler that I've talked about before that sadly passed, is Lionheart. So that was another great feud in sort of side, but was at ICW as well, and he's also feuded with Grado as well, you know. So
it seems like everyone's feuded with Grado.
Yeah, that brought out his sort of comedic sort of character, because he's in BCW. He's more of a sort of comedic sort of funny tag team sort of what was it stuff. So it's like chicken shit heel, which is really funny and really gets the crowd going, you know. And he's in there with sort of kid fight, but what was it? He's a sort of like powerhouse, you know, big guy, you know. What was it? Brawler sort of wrestler. So yeah, definitely somebody that I would like to see getting a bit more of a spotlight put on, you know.
Now, Haney, I'm going to be honest with you. After all the people you sent me, this is one of them I'm not actually familiar with. I'm going to be honest.
No, that's fine, you know. They have had what was it? Sort of appeared in sort of other promotions and that as well, you know. But there's so many great UK talents, you know. It's hard to sort of remember them all, you know. So I mean that's going to happen. I mean, definitely. But ICW really had a big sort of buzz around it in the 2010s, and they were sort of worldwide, weren't they? A wee bit, you know. They were sort of that group that was looked upon a bit. So they were part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mr. Isaacs, obviously, to keep the conversation going, what vibes do you get looking at them?
He's got that kind of like, almost kind of like Pac without the hair. That's kind of the vibe I get from looking at this guy.
To be honest, Pac would come up to about his waist.
Oh yeah, this guy's a whole lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be checking this
doesn't do
guy
him
out.
justice, I guess.
You not think Pac should book himself as a giant in the Micro Wrestling League? That would be awesome.
That would be cool. Yeah, he'd be like Bruiser Brody in the Micro Championship Federation.
Why is it when you said that, the first thing I thought of was that wee man from bloody MLW? Oh dear. Mr. Isaacs, we're back to you, my man.
This one I put him on this list for a very specific conversation point. And the next one on my list is the guy that you can't see, John Cena. And let me tell you why I chose to mention him on this list. Because I think, and I'm curious to see what you all think about this, I think John Cena is the last major pop culture icon that will ever exist in professional wrestling. I don't think there will be anybody else like a Cena, Austin, Rock, Hogan that transcends pop culture and is a household name that everybody knows. I think Cena's going to be the last. I don't think professional wrestling's ever going to produce another, because I just don't think it's as popular anymore to produce another pop culture icon. What do you guys think of that?
Henny?
Yeah, definitely. I actually thought you brought him up because you were talking about his, what was it, the fact that his mother had an illicit affair with a Mexican called Pedro, and you were going to mention
Juan Cena.
he's going
Yeah.
to bring up his sibling Juan Cena, you know. But I mean, to be fair, if you think about it, John's got quite a long name, you know. So what was it? What is it? I was looking it up earlier. 2 seconds to find it again. It's quite a long name. I was trying to find something different to talk about John, because everything we know about John is sort of well known. So his name's John Felix Anthony Cena Jr. You know, so that's a bigger name than the bald spot that he's got in the back of his head. You know, so
He's morphing into muscular Ernest. Is what he's morphing into.
you know, if they ever do the Ernest movies again, he's the perfect role for that because he just looks like him. You know, it's
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Like he's jacked up, like muscle bound Ernest. Like that's
Yeah.
what he looks like now.
It's like, can you imagine it now? Ernest does Nikki Bella.
Yeah, the thing is with John Cena as well is like you see what he does outside of like wrestling and stuff like that. Obviously, hasn't he got the record for like the most Make-A-Wish things or something along them lines?
He does. Yeah. I think over 400 some, if I'm not mistaken.
I know it's something along them lines. Yeah, I just remembered that, and I'm like, yeah. And the one thing I always remember when making him, because he spoke about making that transition, because there was a point where his character wasn't really like working, and then I think Stephanie McMahon said something along the lines of just start rapping at people, and that's how that all came about.
Yeah, she started seeing him sort of like freestyle backstage. I think with Shelton Benjamin or something like that, and that's how that sort of came about. You know,
It was on the bus. Like
Yeah.
they were on a travel bus together. And this is actually discussed on the McMahon Netflix documentary that just came out this week. There's actually a part that talks about this.
what a load of shit that was.
Did you watch the whole thing, Haney? We're going to talk about
boring.
that, I think, on another episode. But yeah.
Yeah, nothing to it. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, it's so controversial." Everything that was on there was sort of known.
Well,
yeah.
And I'll get into that deeper whenever we do a show about this, but that
Yeah.
people have to temper their expectations in that this was made for normies. This wasn't
Yeah.
made for us weirdos on the internet that watch everything in wrestling. This is meant for just normal, everyday folks that watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the reason why a lot of this stuff, most of it is stuff that we already knew. But
I mean, you've
Yeah,
got people on
Tony-
the internet from Alabama outraged that they were going to do the Stephanie Vince storyline. Hello.
Tony Atlas gave the soundbite of the century. Do you know the Tony Atlas sound clip?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. It was.
Yeah.
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 Liam, we could save it for the McMahon show if you want, but
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. You know, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Okay. I'm kind of scared now. I'm going to be honest.
And
you
what
should
about-
be.
What about Meltzer? You know, he's just livid that he was never let into the WWE sort of bubble. You know, you can see it in his face. He's just angry that he was never accepted. You know?
It's interesting because, and I'm curious to know more about this, but Meltzer and Vince seem to have a personal relationship back in like the early 90s. And like, I'm curious at what point there was a schism and then they just completely cut contact with each other. Because like they mentioned it a couple times on the show. And again, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on the show, but they mentioned it a couple times that Meltzer and Vince would like speak to each other like quite a bit.
Well, it's sort of well known, and well, I say well known. It's well documented on the what was it with people in the know that have said that Vince was feeding storylines, and I mean, what was it? Jericho was doing it as well. You know, they were all at it. They were all feeding stuff to sort of Meltzer. You know, but just to what was it? Yeah, I mean, the fact that I had to listen to him and watch him at the same time was just horrendous, you know?
At least he cleaned up his office this time.
He's got a face like, I mean, no, that was the sort of artificial intelligence, the background to that, you know? But what was it called? He's just got a face you want to punch. No, that condone violence, you know? I actually gave his appearance what was it, a 3.1415 out of 5.
Let's move on.
because he's
Give it a Canada Dry score.
because he's a
Yeah.
pie face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you went for pie. Yeah, I got you. 3.14 Infinity. Yeah,
Is it pie face?
basically.
I'm lost where we are now. I don't even know what we're doing anymore.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. It's your turn.
We just did Cena, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, when we go off on tangents, I kind of just lose where I am.
It's all good. As long as the conversation's good, it's all that matters.
That's why I'm bad for your podcasts.
Hey, no one's ever bad for this podcast. Unless your name's Steve.
Uh,
We'll just ignore
Or
that question.
Cronenberg.
Or Cronenberg, yeah. Right, let's head back to the UK. And I'm going to choose a guy which everyone who I obviously speak to, I speak to a lot of wrestlers and stuff, and they've all said that this guy is the absolute veteran, obviously, of the UK. And I'm talking about, and I don't think he gets the love, it is Rampage Brown. Now, this guy's done some stuff for NXT UK and stuff like that. He was trained by there's a Hall of Famer he got trained by, and I cannot think who it was, but this is the reason why we see a lot of, great wrestlers today, great mind.
Yeah.
In the ring, again, is absolutely great. So when I think of like the full package in it, this guy's going to be up there.
No, definitely. I mean, he's been in, what was it, as you say, what was it, he's been everywhere. What was it, and he's...
I'm just going to have a see who he's actually been trained by. Carry on.
Sort of lost my train of thought now. So obviously you've got, he was in NXT UK. What was it, I sort of like know him from ICW and Progress Wrestling. I think he was in Divine Wrestling as well, from what I read. He's just a former Progress champion, so that championship's got a pretty good lineage, so he's in there with some good top names, so he's well deserved that he's got that as well, so he's an absolute powerhouse of a wrestler.
Yep. And
Tiffany
it's
says she
20
loves Rampage Brown. Now, I'm convinced that I could find like the scrubbiest of scrub that wrestles in a high school gym in some corner somewhere, and Tiffany's gonna know who he is.
Alberto Del Rio.
Well, Del Rio's working AAA, I think, right now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. But I remember seeing the clip where he come out into a school about 20 people.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I mean, Mr. Isaacs, again, what do you see when you get the vibe?
He's got a good look. He looks like a big, strong guy. Like, is he a younger guy or is he kind of like older?
41.
41. Okay, so he's kind of getting close to the tail end. He kind of has that grizzled vet look. Like he's kind of seen it all, done it all, at least on the independent level.
It is 23 years experience he's got.
Wow. That's awesome. Rampage Brown. I'm going to have to look him up. He's got an interesting look.
Definitely.
Looks like a badass. For sure.
He is. And like I said, I've spoke to a lot of wrestlers, and every single person, that name always comes up every single time and stuff like that. And that's why the reason I put him on the list and stuff.
Has he ever worked stateside?
I think he's done NXT UK again.
Just NXT UK, but he hasn't done any like American shows.
I do not think so. I mean, I've only known him in the UK. I need to have a look at this. Well,
I was just curious.
I can't remember if he did TNA. I need to look it up.
No, he's got WWE. But yeah, NXT, yep.
Oh, he did NXT.
NXT UK, sorry. Rev Pro, yeah.
Yep.
The Defiant, he's done that. ICW, BWR. There's a lot of UK stuff, but there's also, like I said, there's quite a lot of promotions.
Has he been a champion in ICW? I can't remember if he has been.
I'd have to look it up, mate, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, no worries.
Right, Henry, we're back to you for, I think, we've got time for one more each, Henry, so you've got choice of two now.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the absolute cornerstone of Scottish wrestling, and that is a guy called BT Gunn. I mean, this guy's been around for a long time as well. And his legacy is probably one of some of the wrestlers that he helps develop. But was it you know a bit about that because you've interviewed quite a few of them?
Yep. Again, I mean, I've spoke to Martin McAllister, and again, the thing is, when I speak to like people from like certain like parts of the country, they all say like a certain person. So, for example, people in the north will talk about Rampage, people in Scotland will talk about BT Gunn. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, this man in terms of the UK scene is sort of done it all. He's a multi-time ICW champion. I know I keep on mentioning ICW, but that's like, you know, so that's my sort of thing. He's like he's an ICW Triple Crown champion. You know, he's won the ICW World Heavyweight Championship. He's had the Zero G Championship. And he's also been the Tag Team Champions as well. You know, so that's no easy feat. You know, so some of his feuds. I mean, one of his big feuds was with Joe Coffey. You know, who's now part of NXT with Gallus. You know,
Of course, he knows who it is.
Tiffany knows the janitor that worked the local mud show in like Tuscaloosa, Alabama on a random Saturday night.
Yep.
But no, I mean, when I think of Scotland, that's the first wrestler I always think of. BT Gunn. Ain't has he ever done stuff like on the bigger scale? If that makes sense.
I think, unfortunately, I've not really seen him outside the UK. I mean, and sadly, I mean, I know him in ICW. He's been quite successful down in Progress Wrestling and Rev Pro and things like that as well. You know, but sadly, I don't think he has done any of the sort of NXT. NXT or that. I think when the NXT UK stuff happened, he might have had a little bit of an injury. Then obviously the pandemic happened and it was sort of canned. So no doubt a lot of these wrestlers would have filtered into it, you know. So he was also BCW champion up until quite recently when he lost to sort of Daz Black and he turned sort of. I've seen him as sort of like the super baby face and also the really nasty heel, and he really plays both characters really well, you know. So he's like. His sort of, I think in the future, his sort of gym's going to be pivotal in some of the wrestlers we see worldwide, you know, because some of the talent.
Iron Girders, isn't it?
Yeah, some of the talent that's coming out there is absolutely phenomenal, you know, so. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, as always, Mr. Isaac, to keep the conversation going, what vibe do you get?
So, this is Billy Gunn's illegitimate Scottish son, right?
I would say brother.
Yeah, how old is the guy?
I don't know. Go on, Henny. You're the Scottish guy.
Well, I'm trying to remember when I mean, he's been around for a long time. So I think it was something like 2002 seconds. I'll confirm it because I've got it wrote down. 2006. 2006 he debuted. So when he first debuted, it was weird. He sort of had a sort of long-haired sort of cross between Jeff Hardy and Shawn Michaels, and he had the sort of like glowing mouth guard, you know, that the Cubs absolutely loved and sold thousands of.
This is going to sound bad to say, but like you can always tell the veteran wrestlers because they actually look like they could legitimately be tough.
Yeah, exactly.
Like most of the younger wrestlers don't. If I'm just being honest.
You basically beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, basically. The old veterans, like they look like they could actually kick some ass. And this guy does. He looks like he could kick some ass.
Yeah.
Almost definitely. Yeah.
He's probably definitely one. I mean, I that's probably one guy I want to get on this show because he's just so well respected during the Scottish wrestling scene. And I have reached out a couple of times. He hasn't got back, which sometimes that's just the way things go. But I will keep trying and get him on the show. Right then, Mr. Isaacs, one more for you. So you've got choice of two.
I think I'm going to reach out to Max Caster and see if I can get him on the show. Just kidding.
Might give you the fist bump and go, no, I'm all right, thanks.
All right, so I've got two more on my list. I'll choose one to talk about. And I think I've got the one in mind that I think would be a good conversation piece here. I'm going to go with the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. And here's the reason why I want to talk about Kurt Angle, because Kurt is an anomaly. Kurt is one of the very, very, very small list of people that went from an actual, like, quote unquote, legitimate sport into professional wrestling and did it as an elite, one of the best of all time. Legitimately one of the best technical wrestlers ever. And this guy is what they wanted Gable Steveson to be. But, of course, this is not going to happen. Lightning doesn't strike twice like that. And Kurt Angle's an anomaly. Like, he's one of these guys that started out as a shoot wrestler and then became one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. And it's not like the old days where you kind of learn to be both a shoot and a worker. This was in the day where it was completely separate from each other. And so I always thought it was fascinating that Kurt Angle was this athletic anomaly like this. What do you guys think of that? And the idea of like guys who are shoot wrestlers and fighters crossing over into wrestling and their limited success.
I mean, when you think about it, I mean, hasn't Cody Rhodes got like an amateur background amateur wrestling thing? I think Brock Lesnar has. I think there's more wrestlers who's got the amateur background thing than you actually think about, to be honest.
Yeah, but not at that high of a level though.
No,
like there's a lot of guys that wrestled in high school and then went on to be professional wrestlers. Brock is one of those exceptions as well. But Brock became known as a professional wrestler before he became known as a shoot fighter. Kurt did the opposite. Like he was known majorly as a shoot wrestler and then became a professional wrestler and was very, very high level at it with minimal training. It's just one of those anomalies that you're not likely to ever see again.
Ain't it?
Yeah, the first thing I think of like out with the sort of like these wrestling ability it was with Kurt Angle is the whole I'm just a sexy Kurt. I make your ankle hurt.
And that's one thing too. I hated when they made him do comedy. I like serious badass Kurt Angle, like what he was in TNA. Like I like that Kurt Angle better.
Yeah, but that one, that one. Again, that comes down to the whole thing we were talking about, wrestling against entertainment. You know, that was he was brought in to be the big guy, and although he was popular and he was over in TNA, he never became that traditional guy to push it further. You know, because he did away with what he was. You know, Kurt actually talks about that in a shoot interview. Well, there's one or two things that he talks about in a shoot interview that's quite surprising, but that was one of them. The other one is he hates milk. He hates milk, but I mean, I loved the whole comedy thing with Kurt. You know, but when he had matches, it was like really serious. They were absolutely bangers. They were absolutely amazing. Just a shout out to that prick Meltzer who's never given him a 5-star match. You know,
that's absurd.
Absolutely
absurd.
The guy claims to be an expert in wrestling, and he doesn't give one of the best wrestlers ever a 5-star match. It's just absolutely nuts. But anyways, what was it?
Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels at Mania was definitely a 5-star match. I don't care what Meltzer says.
You know, it's just anybody that jacks off to his ratings needs to have a hard think about themselves. You know, what was it called? What was it? That was maybe Meltzer's group can sort of join along with Diddy's group and get some of that sort of baby oil. What was it? Free offer baby oil with the Wrestling Observer, you know? Because
Liam, I think we got our topic for next week, buddy. It's going to be people who jerk off to Dave Meltzer, brought to you by Zoid Piss.
Do you think people are tuning in for that?
Really?
Tiffany will be here, I'm sure.
Because
she's awesome and she's always supportive of us.
But I mean, all the comedy stuff is what everybody talks about is wrestling, and that's to me is like that again, like Ricky. That's just is what Kurt Angle is. But the comedy stuff was just amazing, you know, like the whole abstinence thing with. I remember the whole abstinence thing with like Big Show, and Big Show's going about shouting condoms, free condoms.
The thing is, I mean, I actually prefer Kurt Angle's TNA run. I mean, everything from like one of my favorite like introductions was when Kurt actually debuted in TNA, and Don West was like, was it Don West who said Kurt Angle's in the Impact Zone or something along them lines? It was probably one of my absolute favorite. You know,
what's Kurt Angle do to the Impact Zone?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love his theme too. It was done by that guy, the trademark, that was John Cena's cousin / rap partner.
Really?
So like the other guy that raps in John Cena's theme is the guy who rapped Kurt Angle's theme in TNA.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that.
Yep.
There's your fact of the day.
Yeah, but
that's why I'm the expert.
He was just an absolute. It was a phenomenon. It felt really awkward. I felt really awkward watching Kurt wrestling in TNA because we'd already lost like Eddie and things like that, and he was obviously released for a reason, and he's sort of admitted that now that Vince was trying to help him. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
you
he
see
was.
some of
This
the-
was definitely Perk Angle at his
Yeah.
peak. Yeah.
you know, and that stuff like that. It's like the whole Darby Allin thing. Stuff like that scares me because I don't want to watch somebody die in a wrestling ring. You know. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but-
Darby's got to reel it in a little bit, man. That dude's not gonna be walking around when he's 40.
No, definitely not.
Not at all. Not at all.
At least,
Right,
at least to have a pink jacket to cover his legs with in the wheelchair, though.
right, we've got one more to obviously wrap up, and I've got choice of two, and this is kind of tough because I like both these wrestlers. You know what? I'm going to go for this one, and it is, of course, Charles Crowley. Now,
Nice.
a few weeks ago, we did a show about matches which made us feel like certain emotion. Now, he's obviously in this. Sorry?
I'm just singing Aussie. Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley.
Wrong, red, wrong.
Now,
In your head.
the one thing I actually love about Charles
Oh,
Crowley.
Mr. Crowley. Sorry.
Take
I'll
two.
behave, Liam. I'll behave.
Okay, take two. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, the thing is with Charles Crowley is you see wrestlers like trying to work out their gimmicks and stuff like that. But this guy, I can see Mr. Eyes trying not to laugh.
Everybody wants to be Aleister Crowley. Yeah. That's what it is. Mr. Crowley.
But the thing is, I'm just going to say Charles. I'm not going to say the second name.
He's Charles in charge now.
Yes.
Remember that old
So-
sitcom, Haney?
Yeah. He's Bruce Lee's brother. Charles Crowley.
We have completely hijacked Liam's pick here.
I don't even know. Yeah. Come on now. Come on, guys. Let's finish. Sorry. I'm gone.
I'm not saying a word. Go ahead and finish, brother.
Anyway, so yeah, the thing is with Charles Crowley is he's got his character down to a T. Do you know, like, obviously we see wrestlers trying to work out the gimmicks. We still see it now in the big leagues and stuff.
Yeah.
But Charles has got it down, to an actual T. He's done some incredible promo work, some incredible stuff like that. And he's got one of the best videos, which he actually posted on his socials, which is I'm going to put a link into it because it's absolutely incredible. It's where he's talking like to his gimmick, and he says, "Do you want this £20?" Right, and then go over it. There's actually a little thing with it. He says, "Yeah, I'll take it." So then he crunches it up, spits on it, yada yada. He says that, "Do you still want this £20?" And the argument is it doesn't matter what you do to that £20, it's still technically £20. And if you put that into like a live perspective, Mr. Rice, it's kind of like a deep message.
Sounds like it, yeah. That sounds like a pretty good promo. I'd like to take a watch of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and do you remember I said the word twat?
I remember, like you had like something like a twat or something. It was one of your favorite matches or something like that.
Yes. So when he comes out to the ring, everyone calls him a twat.
Liam, your
Okay.
language is absolutely deplorable.
Says the one who like
That's
says
not very
everything.
friendly to call people a twat, Liam. Jeez.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on over there? Don't the British fans have any decorum? Come on
Yeah.
now.
I think I've got a picture somewhere that says "bow down to the twat."
Bow down to the
to
twat.
Bow down to the.
Do you know what? I'm going to try and dig it out for next week. But yeah, I mean, Annie, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this guy.
Yeah, no, definitely, and it's interesting because what was it? When you see when you see this guy's picture, you maybe think, "Oh, how many people have tried that gimmick, and how many people do it?" He just has it, you know. He's just absolutely nailed what that thing was. I've seen stuff of his some sort of Progress Wrestling, you know. So, what was it? I think he's done stuff. He's Rev Pro as well, isn't he? I think, but
Yes.
definitely. What was it? I mean, he's not been around very long either. I think it was like 2018, 2019 he started wrestling. So, what was it? He's definitely got what was it? A good future ahead of him. Hopefully, what was it? People are already taking notice and seeing what he's doing. You know, it's quite a, what was it? He's quite a flamboyant character at times, isn't he?
He is,
But
yes.
with it, so what was it? And it's very unique. What was it? So definitely, what was it? I can see him. I can see him going places for sure.
Absolutely. So Mr. Isaacs keeping the theme going again. What vibe do you get looking at this guy, based on obviously what we've just been speaking about?
I like the Mad Hatter style hat that he's got on there and the jacket. That's pretty cool. And it would be really cool if he came out to Mr. Crowley by Ozzy.
It's his
Like
own.
that would be
theme.
very fitting. But yeah, I get kind of like I don't know, kind of like a flamboyant kind of vibe from him. I could see him kind of being like the look at me, I'm an extravagant showman. Like I could see that type of vibe from him just based on the look alone, not knowing anything else.
Yeah,
I mean, his character work alone is just like so unique. It was for what goes on in like sort of like wrestling. You can tell. Like what was it? Like the ones that really put a lot of effort into what they're doing, opposed to somebody just like cutting a promo. What was it? There's a lot of thought into what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's a
Tiffany
great
wants to remark and say that she thinks he's hot too. That's very important, guys.
That's not very nice. That's very misogynic of you, Tiffany.
Oh dear. I think let's wrap this show up before it goes off the rails again.
Sorry, Tiff. I was only joking. Yeah.
If you guys want,
Yeah.
if you guys
I'd
want to
give him
support,
one too.
if you guys want to support the show, you can scan the QR code on screen. That will take you to our link tree. All socials are on there: our Twitter, our Instagram, YouTube, where you can support all the other channels. Mr. Isaacs, I'm not sure if there's a show tonight. Collision After Dark.
I believe we're planning on doing one, yeah, because we haven't done one for a few weeks. I think Aaron wants to do one for the what is it, the big Collision show that's piggybacking off of the Wednesday night show, Grand Slam. Yeah, I think he wants to do one for that. So I think we're probably going to end up doing it. So yeah, tune in tonight and we'll reconvene the garage for everybody.
Of course. And tomorrow, I mean, I'm curious to see what's going to go off here. Kayfabe, the dating game. I have no idea what this is about. I've just been asked to show it for tomorrow.
Yeah, I asked what that was in the chat, and Caleb's response was, "It's a dating game." And I said, "Well, thanks, Caleb. I could read the giant graphic. I was kind of wanting some more context, but yeah, I'm kind of interested to see where this goes. It's some kind of kayfabe dating game that our pal Dollywood is hosting. So I'm kind of curious.
Is it like a sort of archaeology dating game where we're carbon dating sort of like wrestling, like going through the past to see like these were sort of Abraham Lincoln's wrestling boots?
Could be. I don't know.
A different sort of dating.
Could be. If you want to get scientific with it on the Sunday.
Well, it's Sunday. You don't really want to get scientific. I mean, Sunday's the day of rest. You don't really want to sort of like over.
Day of rest. I'm at Rev Pro tomorrow.
Whoa!
Get a Mr. Crowley chant going, Liam.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on the card.
It doesn't matter. Just start singing Mr. Crowley from Ozzy.
I could start singing twat, twat, twat. But
You Brits like to sing in your crowds. They like to sing. Start singing Ozzy Osbourne. It'll catch on.
Okay. This has been an absolute fun show. Mind yours actually from laughing, I'm going to be honest. Dear, thanks for watching, guys. Mr. Isaacs, keep it short and sweet. Let's see us out to the outro.
All right, everybody. We're heading into the fall. It is a rainy day here in the middle of Kentucky. I've got leaves blowing all over the place. The trees look like rubber bands flopping back and forth freely. Even though you got a rainy day ahead, you got to make sure you keep your head up, guys. Don't take things too seriously in life. You got to make sure you just remember to take care of yourself and have fun. And the problems will sort themselves out eventually. Just keep that fist in the air, guys. Remember, always just keep fighting.